notes. So I will stop sharing this. So today we're going to give you a demo of the Photofy app that is available to all members to utilize the That's Who We Are campaign to enhance their and your presence on social media. Associations can also take advantage of this app in a variety of ways, and that's what our team will be presenting to you today. I'm Courtney Wilson with NAR's engagement team. Our team is here to help and support association staff, like all of you, with anything that you need. We're communicating through AEI year-round, all the virtual channels that you've been experiencing so far, so reach out if you need anything. Before I introduce our presenter, I'd like to start with a few Webex tips that you're likely already familiar with if you've participated in these sessions, which all of you I know have. You can access the chat box by clicking on the question bubble icon when you hover over your cursor at the bottom of your screen. We will use that function to answer any questions in the middle of the presentation, but also we will save most questions until the end of the presentation so Rowland can answer them live. We will also share links in that space to resources mentioned during Rowland's presentation. For better speed and streaming, we recommend closing unnecessary browsers and windows on your computers so that it's a smoother experience. We have currently muted all attendees to avoid any background noise. So again, if you have any questions, please aim them towards the chat box at the bottom of your screen. At the end of the presentation, we will provide a link to send you to more resources on this topic to share with your members, but also use at your associations. And we will provide a link to where this recording will be on nar.realtor along with the materials presented. Now it's my pleasure to introduce you to today's presenter. This is Rowland Brisco, NAR's Vice President of Digital Strategy, who will show you more about how to use Photofy to enhance your social media reach. Rowland, over to you.
Okay, great. How do I become the presenter?
I think you are all set. You should be able to share your screen now.
Okay, can you see me? Okay, great. I can see you. Hello, everyone. I am Rowland Brisco, Vice President of Digital Strategy for NAR, and let me walk you through Photofy and how we've been using it at the national level, but also how you can use it for your associations. So hopefully you can see my screen. Everything good? All right. So a little bit of a background on, I joined in late July of last year as VP of Digital Strategy. And it became apparent that members were, while we have these social media assets and ads for That's Who We Are on our website, members would still have to download those assets and to personalize them using Photoshop or some other tool that a graphic artist would need to do. And then they could share them and deploy them, which is fine if you have the capability and you have a comms team. But for the general membership, it was a stumbling block. So it's like, what could we do to make it easier for people to customize within brand guidelines and share on social media? So did some research, several tools out there, Canva, Ripple, looking at building our own custom app, but that seemed prohibitive. So someone suggested Photofy, and so we took a look at that, and it's basically a content creation tool, but they had a lot of real estate customers, including Remax, and we were saying, well, how could we load up assets from That's Who We Are to Photofy and have them customize templates specifically for us and for our members to use? And so we were able to do that in time for annual and a beta release, and we demoed it at the booth. We got great feedback and some limited testing base. And then we launched at the beginning of the year. We have over 13,000 members using this app currently. And New Jersey approached us and said, hey, could we do a pilot? And then also an affiliate. I presented to affiliates in Chicago in late December. And a couple of the affiliates were interested in, well, how can we leverage it for our assets? So we decided to do two pilots, one for New Jersey and one for RRC, Residential Real Estate Council. And so those have been done recently. And so now we thought, let's present to state and locals to see if they want to leverage their own artwork and assets and videos for their own galleries on the app that would be linked to but separate from the NAR version. So basically, with the success of the app, we've gotten some great feedback, allows members to personalize in a limited way the That's Who We Are campaign assets, graphics and video and social media. And of course, we've had interest. And I just mentioned we've done a couple pilots. And so we want to expand it to any interested state and local associations and affiliates to develop their own asset galleries for the app. So your app gallery would be separate from the NAR gallery so that it was clear this is the national, That's Who We Are assets, and then here's your assets. And it would be linked to the members based on Nerd's ID and last name so that they can toggle between the galleries on the app. So I think the best way to show this is to do a little demo. Let's see here. Hopefully you'll be able to see my phone screen. And so this is our main screen. Once you sign up for the app with your Nerd's ID and download it, but you'll see at the bottom, we have an accounts toggle. Now, we're developing some additional certification gallery designations and certifications. We have a test that we test things out before we deploy. We'll have access to that. NAR member is the official, NAR version. You can see that though we can toggle to, and I have access, and only New Jersey members would have access to New Jersey's version. So you can see by toggling between these various versions, we can deliver specific templates and assets that way and make it distinct from the NAR member version. So let's start with, in case you haven't seen it, this version, which loads up That's Who We Are campaign assets that our agency Havas created. And you can see there's quite a few. We have Spanish language versions. We have campaign assets from last year. We have the latest ones. Look for the R. And let me just walk through the process. Basically, you pick a template. You can tap to add your photo. So it just brings up your camera roll. Sorry for food shots. And then it pre-fills based on your profile settings, additional information. So I could actually add, my phone number here, and you can override the pre-filled data to whatever you like. And then you hit done. You can change some of the formatting, the opacity, the tracking, the leading, if you want to create a little more space between lines. So there is some customization allowed within this window. And then we pretty much hit done. And now it'll ask you, where would you like to share? So since I picked the Facebook tab, we did organize them by platform to make it a little easier for members so that they're given a guide. Okay, here's the Facebook templates. They're already pre-sized for Facebook. So here I'm going to choose Facebook. I can now add some text. I can then say post to Facebook, and the text I could copy paste it here, or I could just write whatever. And you can see here, I'm not going to actually share it to my timeline, but you can see here it's ready to share. It's been co-branded. And so it really can be done in 30 seconds or less. So let me start over and show you another way that your association can use this right out of the box. So if I go back to the same template, there's another option here on the right. And this one allows me to upload a logo. So I have some logos here. You can add your own logo. I'm just going to put in Chicago Association Realtors, and I can drag that up or down. I can size it. Now, again, with this option, you could theoretically violate the brand guidelines, but hopefully people don't. Most people don't. But certainly a lot easier than Photoshop. Just plug and play. Here's your information. Apply. Hit done. And there I go. I'm ready to share a co-branded piece with the logo. Whichever logo that is, could be a brokerage, could be association. So photo or logo, and then contact information, whatever you like. So that's pretty much templates. And we also have, as you can see at the top, Instagram sized square assets. Taking a little bit to load here. Then we also have Twitter and LinkedIn. So these are landscape oriented assets. We also have Facebook covers. Now, these wouldn't be posted, but you could share not only to social, and actually quite a large percentage of people will share via other methods. So you just hit done. It's not customizable, but you can also share via text message. You can share eCard. You can share, Pinterest. So there's more share options you can add actually. So this is just a great, I would say, asset delivery system that you can use not only for social, but other methods. We actually recently added, since virtual meetings are all the rage now due to restrictions, we added a tab at the top for Zoom backgrounds. So we had Havas create some themed Zoom backgrounds for That's Who We Are. It's taking a little bit to load. There we go. So here we're all neighbors now. Again, not intended necessarily. It could work on social, but you could just email it to yourself or text it and then load it up on Zoom. So this is a great alternative than going to that's who we are.realtor and doing the same thing. You could do it all within the app. In our version of the app, we also have what are called reposts, which are just simply shareable assets, not customizable. So there we have some of the social media ads that Havas created that you could easily share on your timelines and that your members could share. So that's a nice, and they are working on, as another iteration, not necessarily customizable video, but I would say slideshows, so that maybe the last slide could be personalized or localized to your association. So there's other reposts here that are simply shareable assets, pretty much the same ones, but instead of the bar that you would normally put your photo or logo and copy, it's just a full bleed ad, basically, or graphic that you can just simply reshare. So it's pretty cool and easy. I think the main thing to stress here is the ease of use. There's other tools that let you do more customization, but there's a lot more steps. And the average member just wants something simple. So that really was the driving force here. You can also schedule a post, which is nice. So it will bring up from your camera roll customized pieces that you could then schedule for a later date and time. And it'll remind you, it won't automatically post. It'll just basically give you a notification. Hey, would you like to post? Yes, confirm, and then you're posted. So I guess we could go back to a state and local example. So in this case, New Jersey. Now notice these have nothing to do with the That's Who We Are campaign. These are strictly local. Yes, it's leveraged as far as co-branding, like a lot of associations do with the That's Who We Are logo, but it's not the official kind of creative. So there's a lot of cool graphics that New Jersey created. You can see they're in a totally different style. It's their branding, and it would be your branding, whatever you wanted in your graphics. And in fact, the customizable elements don't need to be at the bottom. In fact, I would encourage people not to just copy the same pattern. You could put them in the middle. There's all kinds of things you could do to put where the photo is. But same process, plug and play, photo or logo, and then it usually warns you if you have not customized the default, just to be sure. So that's a feature, not a bug. And then you can share on social media. So pretty cool. So I think that's a pretty good overview of how we can toggle between different designations and associations, libraries. Right now we're testing some of the Instagram assets, but we're going to be adding, hopefully by the end of the week, the Facebook and Twitter and LinkedIn for some of the NAR designations. All right, so let me get back to the presentation. and kind of walk through a process that you, if you were interested in developing your own libraries. Again, the NAR version and the designations, if members have them, they're all included, they're free. But if you want to create your own branded assets and deliver them using the app, we have negotiated discounted pricing. Normally, it's about $3,500 to set it up, and at least $1,000 a month management fee. So we negotiated so that our state and local associations and affiliates would pay no setup fee, which is it takes a bit of time to develop these assets and also to program the customizable areas from Photofy. $750 a month, so $9K a year basically. So it is a cost. However, we are seeing thousands of dollars worth of media exposure basically by having our members spread the word with our messaging to their trusted network. So it's more convincing and more legitimate almost than a paid ad because it's coming from them authentically, organically to their networks. It's not an ad sponsored by NAR or from their own brokerage or association. So that it's pretty cool in that this is just a toolkit for members to leverage branded messaging that they can co-brand, which is the nice thing. A lot of people do use the reposts, but most people are using the templates because they want to put in their photo, their contact information, or their logo. So essentially, what Photofy will do, you'll schedule a discovery call, and we have links to a Calendly link where you can pick a date and time if you're interested. And they'll walk you through a half hour, here's the process, here's the specs, here's the guides. They have Photoshop templates already with the appropriate sizing. Basically, you'll create with your comms team or whoever you choose, the templates and shareable assets you want to put into the Photofy gallery on the app. Now, in order for this linkage to work between NAR member version and your version, it's all based on your permission to share the data with Photofy. And so basically you have to contact Chris DeRosa at NAR. She works in legal and also IT. It's some paperwork, just like you would do for DocuSign or any partner, to say, yes, we allow our state or local association's member data to be shared with Photofy using NAR's application programming interface. So that's how it's done. When you sign up, it pings the NERDS database through the NAR API and returns, is this an active member or not? But it's not going to currently tell them which association they're, local or state that they're a member of until you sign this paperwork and say, yes, it's okay. You get your own credentials. Photofy then plugs those into your version of the app. It's really the same app. It's just your own gallery. And that's what creates the linkage so that people can toggle between NAR member, and that's who we are assets, and then your locally branded assets. So then after sending the paperwork, the signed paperwork, NAR will set up the credentials, and then Chris DeRosa will send them to you, and which you then send to Photofy. They can't share that directly. So it's the agreement to sharing member data is between you and NAR. And then you in turn forward those API credentials to Photofy, which they will plug into the app. The timeline is, it could be quicker, but we've seen probably 1 to 2 months, depending on the number and complexity of assets. So, it does take a bit of time, but then future integrations, we're getting them in less than a week, sometimes a couple days, whenever we do a new tranche of assets. So once your asset gallery has been tested and launched, you're going to communicate to your members available, using your channels. I assume email, social media, however else you may want to include this announcement. Hey, Photofy is now available. Sign up at photofy.com/NAR. The nice thing about this is that there's just one landing page for all NAR members. So they just need to go there and sign up, put in their NERDS ID, their name, email, and then they'll receive a link to download the app from either the Apple Store or Google Play for Android devices. And then when they log in, they're going to see the NAR version, and they'll see your gallery as an option. And for people that have already downloaded the app, once your gallery is launched, Photofy will do like a sync basically to go through and say, okay, which of these this association's members have already signed up and have an account with Photofy. We're now going to give them access to the state and locals gallery automatically. So that way, when they log back in, all of a sudden they'll see your state or local association's gallery. Support is provided by Photofy directly. I just saw a question pop up. There is no desktop app. It's strictly tablet and phone because they started developing a desktop app a few years ago, but like they didn't have a significant enough user base that wanted to use it as a desktop app, so they stopped supporting it, and there really is no desktop app available. So it is on tablets, however, and mobile phones. Support is provided directly by Photofy and at photofy.zendesk.com or support@photofy.com, and they're very responsive from all the feedback that we've gotten. So next steps, if you're interested, and this will be provided in the chat box as well as on the landing page that we've created that'll have this presentation, a recording of the webinar, and some other resources. There's a calendar link that you can click and select your date and time to schedule a discovery call with Photofy to talk about the process a little bit further. They'll take requests first come, first served basis, and they'll walk you through the process, send you asset specs, provide Photoshop templates, answer your questions, etc. And then from there, it would be a matter of just signing the contract with them. And when you're getting close to launching, getting that paperwork from Chris DeRosa, who will, basically provide you the forms of, yes, I authorize NAR to share our member data with Photofy through that API, so that communication can take place when people register and know that, yes, this member should also have access to the state and local version. Yeah, so I'm at the end pretty much. I can open it up for questions. The cost is $750 a month. There is no setup fee, and you would contract with NAR. I'm sorry, you would contract with Photofy directly. NAR is not part of that equation. So basically, it would be a contract between your association and Photofy. We have just facilitated the process and negotiated discounted pricing for state and local associations. And once again, it is free to use as is. So if you don't need to have your own customized branded assets loaded up or don't have a need to deliver them in this way, you can just keep doing it as you have been. But we felt that this was compelling enough with over 13,000 users so far that it made sense to, and since we've had interest in people asking and people contacting Photofy, it's like, okay, let's do an official presentation and explain the process and how you can get in contact with Photofy to start developing your own gallery for the app.
Awesome. Thank you so much, Rowland.
Sure.
A couple questions did pop up. Some of them you already addressed, but maybe just to reiterate so that we can just kind of go over the information one more time. And of course, we will also send you all to a page that has the association specific information on it. One of them actually kind of piggybacks of what you were just saying, being able to use the Photofy app as is or incorporate your local association kind of logo as you did. But would they be able to, and I'm kind of rewording this question to translate it, would they be able to kind of lock in that logo and then give their agents access to add their own information with that logo still in place? Can they do that if we set up our own account through NAR?
Yeah, if you set up your own account with Photofy, you can then Oh, I see. You want to take the NAR campaign, add your own logo so that it's locked in, so it's not an uploadable asset, um, and then give your agents access to add their own information. Trying to think, I would have to check with others at NAR to see if we would want to release That's Who We Are campaign assets pre-branded or not, if that's even an option. So that's something I would have to check on. It's certainly something that you could do well, you could download the asset, have it, do it in Photoshop, add your own logo, but then it's a matter of deploying it on Photofy. So it's definitely doable. You could do it by modifying the That's Who We Are asset, putting your own logo, contracting with Photofy to load up your versions of these assets. But as far as I think I think it would be appropriate usage, but I don't know. I want to check with our um, I need to check with a couple people on that if that's something we would want to do. But it certainly is doable, and as long as within brand guidelines, I don't see any harm in it. But I would want to verify, so I'll take that as a follow-up.
Okay, and we can always post that answer on the website or in AEI year round as well. Next question. You touched on this as well, but are you able to, I know there isn't a desktop app, but can you use this or customize it via a desktop?
No, it's only usable via a mobile phone app or a tablet app. Photofy, I did bring it up because that question came up early on from members when we launched, and they just said we don't have the demand at this time from our, I think they have 13 million users to continue that versus other development priorities. So that's one thing where it's not our app, we're leveraging another company's app. You don't have that total control other than making suggestions and saying, hey, we've heard a lot of people ask for desktop. The fact is this is the second time it's come up. So it's not been a huge demand. Maybe if it turned into a huge demand, I could go to Photofy and say, hey, tons of our members want to use this on desktop, but it's simply not available at this time.
Sure. And can you remind everyone again just to where to find the Photofy app, where to download it?
Yes. Is that something I could type in the chat?
Just make sure it's going to all participants or all attendees.
There you go. Photofy.com/NAR. And that is the NAR landing page on Photofy's site, where you would enter in your NERDS ID and your information, email address, and then you'll get emailed a link to download the app.
Perfect.
The contract is 1 year. And I believe there's a 30-day out, so it's not like you're locked in for 1 year.
Got to that question before I could.
Right.
And then I know that you've showed the kind of square Instagram images. Are there Facebook frames that the local associations can edit as well?
Well, that's interesting. I'd have to check with Photofy because I know there's a transparency issue there, but I don't see why not. It's a graphic just like anything else. So it's conceivable they could take a frame and then identify customizable areas on that frame. And then you would just simply because you can't post a frame from Photofy app. It would just go to the timeline. So it would still have to be done, I believe, on desktop or however else you would load a frame to your profile. But at least it would be a way to do the co-branding part of it within the app. So I'll confirm, but I believe so.
Okay, great. And then the ad campaign assets that are already available online, those include Facebook, but this is separate, correct? This is just hand in hand with that, but this is more customizable.
Correct. So online, we have all the same assets, but you can't customize them. You can just download them. And so you could customize them with Photoshop or have an artist do it. But the whole point of the app is to load up those same assets in the form of templates that through the app, the user can easily customize the photo or logo and put in their contact information so that you can do it all within 30 seconds or less, as opposed to opening up a desktop image manipulation program and having to do it manually. So the app has kind of solved that tool for people that aren't graphic designers, which most realtors aren't, but maybe they are. I don't know. It's certainly
Little
easier with the,
creative bones.
yeah.
Absolutely. Okay, great. And then let's, if you don't mind, just review the contract term and the cost one more time, just in
Sure.
case.
So yeah, the contract, it's for a year. There, I believe there's a 30-day out clause. So just give them notice, and you don't have to take it throughout the year. It is billed monthly. There's no upfront billing, because there's no setup fee for you anyway. There was for an AR. And then it's $750 a month per association. And that's unlimited to all your members. There's no user. In fact, that was one of the early negotiations, because their model typically is by user. So it's either like $5 a month or $10 or 15, depending on number of users. And we're like, we don't know of our 1.4 million members, how many will use this, and we can't have an open-ended cost. So we came up more with a tiered structure and then negotiated unlimited for state and locals, so that it's $750 a month flat fee, no matter how many of your members download the app and use the app.
Okay, great. And then still you can customize it the way you did for free with the current assets and the logo.
Yeah,
Should
so
you need
instead of a
to.
setup fee that it covers, X amount of thousands of dollars to do 25 templates, they have waived the setup fee completely. So you do there's a limit, I believe 25 graphical pieces, and then there's an a la carte cost after that. But typically 25 is generally enough to provide.
Okay. I think that that's all the questions that have popped up through our chat. Again, everyone, we will continue to update you on information regarding Photofy, how you can use it as an association, how you can share it with your members.
I
The
saw another
link,
question pop up.
oh, sorry.
Yeah, is there a way to see which states have already joined? As far as I know, we've only done the one pilot with New Jersey. So yeah, as far as partnering, I don't know how that would work. You could go to them and say, hey, can we add a few assets to your library so that we don't need to contract separately? I mean, that's up to you if you'd like to. But then, of course, all members would see that. All members in, for example, New Jersey would see that local association's assets and could use them. Maybe a good thing if they decide to. But that would be the only thing. Everybody who in that state who's using the app would then see the locals' assets on their version of the app. So in order for it to truly be down to the local level, you would need a separate contract with Photofy and a separate gallery here, at least to my knowledge, and unless the state would want to front the bill for the local. So I guess that would be how good your negotiation skills are. It's up to you.
A couple more just popped up. Just to clarify, if associations don't join, they could still use the assets that are there for the NAR campaign for free.
Correct. That's available to all active NAR members. And recently we were able to extend it to international members. So it's not just domestic.
Perfect. And then someone asked if they have questions after this webinar. Is there someone they can contact? Should they contact one of us or the Photofy team support?
I'd say Photofy would be appropriate after the discovery call. But if it's more like these kind of questions, like, could we do this or that, they're not going to be able to answer that. So probably me would be the best person to ask. So if you're truly interested, you may want to go ahead and schedule a discovery call. I mean, that's free, no charge, just to find out more from them, how to get started. But if it's more about, policy or something like that, you could just ask me. And I guess
Great.
should I type in my email address?
Yeah, that would be great.
Should I?
It's up to you.
go. I could be the first
Awesome.
line of defense and then direct you to the appropriate, whether it's Photofy or if it's, perhaps Courtney, I could at least start fielding questions.
Yeah, in here I can put I'll put my email address in here as well. We got one question that was actually just my next point where you can view this recording on the page that currently has the registration information. So it's on the AE landing page right now at nar.realtor/AE. It's there, but we will also put it in this comment box, and we will send an email to all attendees with a little bit more information and that link as well, so you can just refresh that page with more as it comes. One last question, do you have any C2EX templates at this time?
Not at this time, but we're in talks with that team, and that is in the works. Again, that would be only available to those members that have achieved, that designation. So that's another nice thing. The way this works is that a member could see just the NAR version, or they might see up to 10 or however many, designations or certifications they have, because we do intend to have libraries, and we are working with affiliates. As you can see, we already worked with RRC, the Residential Real Estate Council. They were very interested, but other ones are also interested, REBI, and other affiliates. So it's quite possible that a person with 6 different, designations and certifications would see an option in the dropdown for each one of those, plus the NAR member, plus if their state has one, they would see a version, and if their local has one, they would see yet another version. So it's an expandable ecosystem, if you will, that's toggleable right from the main screen, as I showed you. So it's really nice because we can expand it in a lot of different ways, and we're always going. And there are some new assets coming for the campaign, I believe, in the next week or two. So those will be available on the app.
Perfect. Okay, I think that wraps us up. Again, Roland put his email on there. I did as well, so feel free to reach out with any questions. We will send you all the link to more information that will keep coming as this app progresses. And thank you so much, Roland. Thank you for walking us all through this.
Yeah, happy to. And just email me with any questions and let me know. I just want to reiterate, it is a pretty powerful tool. And in a way, if you think about it, all these members are sharing and are eager to share. They have been. There was pent-up demand. Now they have a tool that lets them do that and gets the message out, and all the great things about a realtor and the differentiating between a realtor and a regular agent or an app. So it's basically, you wouldn't have to spend as much on paid ads if that's what you're doing, if you let your members spread the word. So it's totally worth it, just in terms of goodwill and also ROI. 9,000 a year is, it's a lot of money, but to get the same exposure with running paid Facebook ads, I think just from an ROI perspective, it makes sense.
All right, thank you, everyone. Enjoy the rest of the legislative meetings this week, and thanks again.
Thank you.